everybody, welcome to today's recap. Today we're going over round 3 of the Women's Grand Swiss of 2023. Y'all, I have some exciting games for you. Today, out of 25 games, I believe there was 16 decisive results, which that's a lot of decisive results. So I'm going to be showing y'all 3 decisive results today, and let's just jump right in. We have some very exciting chess today. The first game I'm going to be showing y'all is between 2 former Women's World Champions. We have Tan Zhongyi, Grandmaster, 25-17, who is currently 2 out of 2, as well as Antonetta Stefanova, who is also Grandmaster and is also 2 out of 2. She's currently 24-24, and only one of these players is going to be coming out of this with 3 out of 3. Starting us off with the white pieces, we have Tan Zhongyi, and she starts us off with d4. And now d5, c4, e6, all very normal Queen's Gambit declined stuff. And then after a6 and b3, now c5, very normal, and bishop e2. Who's going to be the one to break the tension first? It is Antonetta. She plays c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop b4 check, and she decides to block with the bishop versus the knight, which I think is a very nice reasoning. And if she would have taken back, she would have had to decide if after bishop takes, if she takes with the knight, which is a little bit awkward, or with the queen. I think taking with the queen is preferable so that you can get your knight out to c3 instead. But she doesn't have to make a decision just yet, because after bishop e7 saying, actually, I don't want to trade. And now we get castles, b6, and a4. And both players are just playing very solid moves. We get knight c6, a couple more moves of developing our pieces. And now we get knight to e5, cementing a knight in the center of the board. And now d takes c4. Knight takes c6. This is actually a really nice move because right now she's threatening to take this knight. And if after takes, then you have to have your pawn there. And that's just not really good for white. So she basically just plays a really nice move and saying, yeah, I'm actually not going to take back yet of b takes c4. I'm going to take your knight. And now knight takes c6, b takes c6, and now I will take your pawn. And she just has these really nice hanging pawns that are going to pose problems in black's position. So queen to d7, it's not super cemented in place that this is a huge problem for black. It's just something to keep aware of that she has better pawns than these pawns. And so queen to b3, a5, and now we get rook f to d1, bishop b4, knight to b5, queen b7, bishop f1, rook f to d8, h3, just giving a little bit breathing room to the king, rook to d7, c5, pushing, trying to break open everything on the queen side. Finally, one of the pawns moves, and now we get rook c to d8, doubling up on the d file, knight to d6, saying, nope, you are not going to be doing that. I am going to block your progress. Queen to a8, and this was the first kind of confusing move. I'm not sure what her specific plan was, but Tan Zhongyi plays the most principled move in bishop to g5, saying, I am going to ruin your kingside structure. And now we see king to h8. I think her idea was maybe just to get out of the way of the eventual takes and the queen coming over. But now the weakness in black's position has one less defender, so it's not that great. If she would have played king to f8, I think that would have made a bit more sense, because now you're getting out of the way, but you're still at least defending the weak square on f7. But so, okay, she plays king to h8, and now queen to g3. She also could have played here bishop to b5, and this would have been really nice, because after bishop b5, if you take, I just have amazing pawns. And one of these pawns is going to be able to get through, and it's just a really nice advantage for white. Also, if instead, back here after bishop b5, if you take, because remember this is hanging, if bishop takes g2, I'm just going to play bishop takes d7. And then after rook takes d7, queen to g3, bishop c6, going back, bishop takes f6. And then after g takes f6, this is just really nice for white. Her position is lovely. And really, there's not a lot of problems in the white position. So this would have been really nice as well. However, she decides to go with bishop g3 or queen to g3 instead of bishop b5. And now we get rook takes d6, bishop takes f6, g takes, c takes, and now bishop takes d6. The count is basically a bishop and a pawn for black and a rook for white. However, this was in very, very low time for Antonetta. She had basically no time. This is only move 27. The players don't get extra time until after move 40. They have 90 minutes to make 40 moves, and then after move 40 they get an extra 30 minutes, and she had burned most of her clock up until this point, so she had like no time. So Tan Zhongyi plays queen h4, and then Antonetta plays bishop to e7. See if you can find the win here for white. It is very pretty. It's very nice. And Tan Zhongyi finds it. She had some time, but Antonetta just honestly collapsed in low time. After bishop e7, she plays bishop to d3. And the idea, you're going to see, the only way to stop mate is after f5. And now you just win the bishop. Bishop takes g2. It doesn't matter. Rook c7. I'm coming in. Rook g8. It doesn't matter. Queen to f6 check. And if you block, rook takes f7. And that's it. That was the game. It was over. 2 former women's world champions. Tan Zhongyi comes out with 3 out of 3. And she is probably very happy. She has been, I think, the top board this whole entire time. She's just maintaining hold, and she is dominating this tournament so far. So a great clean win from her in 33 moves. That was it. Yo, this next game is a good one. Okay, so we have International Master Irina Bolmaga, who is 24-23, and we have Grandmaster Anna Muzychuk, who is 25-10. So Anna is really trying to get that win, y'all. Both of these players are 2 out of 2. So this was board 2. Both of them are going for a win. And again, only one is going to get that point, okay? So we get e4. Starting us off, Irina plays e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to b5. This is known as the Roy Lopez or the Spanish. a6, bishop a4 backing up, knight to f6, castles, bishop e7, all very normal stuff. And now she plays bishop takes c6. And this is basically, it may look like a waste of time, but it's not. This is kind of known as like the delayed Spanish because you're just kind of delaying taking that knight. We get d takes c6, rook to e1, defending the pawn, and now knight to d7. d4, striking the center, e takes, queen takes, and now castles. Everything looks relatively safe, and both players have a very balanced position, other than maybe this is not too pretty, but it actually is theoretically fine for black. So bishop to f4, knight to c5, queen steps back, and now knight to e6. Bishop to g3, stepping back, no trade. Bishop to c5. And now after queen to c3, a5. Knight b to d2, we get bishop to b4. And this is move 14. Mind you, Irina Bolmaga has, I don't think has ever won against Anna Muzychuk. So she kind of has in her head that she has not won a game against her. I believe that it's either been only draws and only losses against Muzychuk. So maybe that makes a difference in the idea that she goes for right now. Okay, so bishop to c5, and a repetition is basically offered by Anna. She goes back, and now she plays queen to b3, saying, I don't want a repetition. If she would have moved to e3, this would have been a repetition with queen to e3, which is the best move. But now she basically just offers a piece. She says, okay, take. And after rook e to d1, I'm pinning your piece, so it's fine. But I think maybe she missed knight to d4, because now after knight takes, queen takes, how are you going to get that piece back? Bishop to f4 is pretty much the only move. And now she just plays bishop to e6, attacking the queen. And what are you going to do? She plays queen to f3, and now queen takes b2. Sure, you're going to get your piece back, but I'm going to win these 2 pawns. And now Anna is just up 2 clean pawns. So now Irina is kind of in a very bad defensive structure, and she's going to have to defend for her life right now. So bishop to f4, attacking the pawn, rook f to d8, offering a trade of rooks. We get rook d to c1, attacking the queen. Queen backs up. And now she plays bishop takes c7, which is honestly kind of a weird choice. I don't understand why she didn't play queen takes, rook takes, and now bishop takes, because now at least your structure's not like unfolding and it doesn't look that bad. At least now everything is just in its place and the king side looks fine, but she doesn't play it in this order, and instead she plays bishop takes c7. And now after queen takes f3, g takes f3, and this is ugly. No thank you. Not a fan of this pawn structure at all. We get rook to d7, attacking the bishop. Bishop b6, a4, a3, stopping the pawn. Rook to d3, attacking both pawns. Luckily, this one is defended. And now after king to g2, defending the pawn, f5, striking out. Why not? Anna is up a pawn, just literally up a clean pawn. And also this structure sucks, so it's also a positional advantage. Rook to d1, offering a trade. Rook to b3, no trade. Bishop back to e3. King to f7. King to g3. And now g5. Striking out. E takes f5. Oh, those triple pawns are ugly. Luckily, Anna's going to take one back. Bishop takes g5. Rook to g8, pinning the bishop. King to f4. Bishop to e6. Rook to d6, attacking the bishop. Rook to b5, attacking the bishop. Oh, both attacking the bishop. h4, defending. And now rook to f5, check. King to e4. Rook to e8. f4. And now the killer blow, h6. Where's your bishop going to go? If you take, of bishop takes h6, now rook to f6. Where's your bishop going to go? You want to go to g5 back? Oh, sorry, bishop g4 check. And now, after rook to e6 blocking, because where else are you going to go? I'm just going to take, and now king to d4. And black is just literally up a rook. And I guess it's only technically +4 material-wise because of the pawns, but the rook is the rook. And instead, if here, you try and go somewhere else, if you play like, I don't know, here, this isn't really going to work for you either because you're just going to lose your rook. So she was going to lose her rook regardless. So instead of taking that pawn, she plays after h6, bishop to d8. And now rook to d5 is just very nice. And black wins. And Irina Bolmaga resigned in this position. This was move 40. The players had just hit time control, but she resigned because it was just over. There was nothing she could do. She was going to lose a piece, and it was very sad. And so black wins. Anna Muzichuk wins her points. She is now 3 out of 3, joining the 3 out of 3 club. I think that it's just her right now, and then Tan Zhongyi, because they were the only players with 2 out of 2 that were playing against each other, and then the only other player lost their game. So it was 5 of them yesterday that started off with 2 out of 2 going into this round, and now it's only the 2 players at the top. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Going into our last game, though, ooh, this is my favorite one of the day. I saved y'all a treat. It's so good. All right, last game I'm going to be showing y'all today is between International Master Vaishali Rameshbabu, who is 24-48, who yesterday, if you don't remember, had a amazing miracle draw that she saved. So she was probably very happy to save that. Maybe not with her play in the rest of the game, but the end of the game was very beautiful. And she is playing International Master Leia Garifulina, who is 2400, 2402 to be exact. And both of these players are looking for a win, okay? We start us off, Vaishali, with the white pieces. We get e4, c5, knight to c3. Y'all, I love this move. I love a Grand Prix attack. I was so excited when I saw this on the board. I was like, oh my god, somebody's playing the Grand Prix. I love the Grand Prix. So this is going to be a fighting game. You know from seeing knight c3, this is going to be a fight. So we get d6, f4, g6, knight to f3, all very normal moves. And now bishop to g7 and bishop to b5, which is fine. I don't normally see this too much. Normally, at least the knight is out on c6 first. Or the bishop goes to c4, but so she lets the bishop come out and then just goes back to c4, which is fine. Knight to c6 now comes, and now d3, supporting the center, and knight to a5, attacking the bishop. She says, I don't care. Bishop d2, e6, and queen e2, knight e7, and castles queenside. Y'all, you do not see this every day where somebody is castling queenside in the Grand Prix. I barely ever see this. It's always castling kingside. So I saw this and was like, okay, maybe I don't know how to play the Grand Prix because I've never played it like this. But it's actually, it's a cool idea, but it's very rarely ever seen of castle queenside. So we get a6, f5, and trying to break open that center. She says, no counterattack. b5, f6. Oh, f6 is so good. Bishop takes f6, e5, and this is the main idea in the Grand Prix, is just completely trying to destroy black's center. bishop to g7, saying I am not taking that pawn. If instead she would have gone knight e4 and then tried to jump into either d6 and also attacking the bishop at the same time. So she would have gotten her knight in there, which is just really nice because that king is uncastled. But she doesn't take, and that's why she moves back to g7. Now we get knight to e4 anyway, and now knight to b7. This is actually kind of a crazy idea. Okay, so knight e4 is basically trying to attack e6, and the only way to defend e6 is to play knight to b7, which is what Garifulina plays. However, she also has a hanging bishop here. So Vaishali's like, I don't care about that bishop. You want to take that bishop? Guess what's going to happen if you take that bishop? I'm going to play knight to d6 check, king to f8, and now knight to g5. Everybody's attacking the f7 square, and look at this beautiful file. Bishop to e8, defending. And now she can either play queen to f3, or she can play a really nice move and bishop takes a5. And now after queen takes, queen to f3, attacking this rook, bishop takes e5. If you try and take, oh, I have a surprise. Knight takes e6 with the pin, king to g8, and queen takes a8, and everything is falling. If instead of bishop g5, she would have played just the immediate e takes d6, after knight to f5, bishop g5 attacking the queen, f6, I have bishop takes e6. And after bishop takes e6, knight takes f6 check, king to f7, knight to e5 check. Oh, this is so nice. King to f8, where are you going? And you can win the queen in multiple ways. You can either play here, and after rook takes h7, you have bishop takes, or you can play the other fancy move of playing here. And either way, you're going to win the queen. So this would have been a cool sequence to see. Instead, we see bishop to g5 immediately. After bishop to g5, we now get bishop c6. And here comes all of the white pieces. Mind you, this piece is still hanging. It's been hanging for a couple moves now, and neither player is even looking at it. They're like, you know what? I don't care. But Vaishali says, fine, you're not going to take that bishop? That's fine. I'm going to play bishop takes e6. Ooh! Blowing everything up. If instead she would have played here knight to f6 check, after bishop takes, e takes, knight to d5, actually black has a nice hold, and she would have been okay. Or if she plays here instead after e takes f6 and not knight to d5, instead if she plays knight to f5, we'll get bishop takes e6 anyway, and now after f takes, we see the idea in queen takes e6 and king to f8. And this would have been really nice for white. This is just a winning attack. But she doesn't play knight to f6 check. Vaishali took here 30 minutes to play her next move. And she plays bishop takes e6. And it's so nice. Because now, if you take f takes e6, guess what? I have knight to f6 check. And bishop takes, e takes, and your knight can't move because of the discovered after f7. Say you move here, for example, guess what? Boop, your queen is gone. So that wouldn't work. And then if back here, if she plays instead of knight to f6 check, if she plays e takes d6, this actually doesn't work. The idea is completely different because now knight takes d6 and knight takes c5. And yes, you are hitting e6, but the other idea is just much better. So that is why she would have had to play knight to f6 here. But we don't see f takes e6. Instead, we see bishop takes e4. And now the critical moment, what are you going to do? Are you going to take this bishop? Or are you going to take this pawn? Vaishali plays the right idea, but the wrong move order. She plays e takes d6. And now black gets an option. Garifulina gets to decide if she is going to take with the queen or with the knight or move her bishop. And she decides to play knight takes d6, and this was the wrong idea. If instead she would have played queen takes d6, now after queen takes e4, queen takes e6, queen takes b7, castles, black is safe. Black is fine, and material is equal. After queen takes e7, this actually doesn't work because of queen takes a2, and now trying to defend, because everybody's coming. Trying to defend, you play c3, b4. comes in, and this is just terrifying. And even though white is up a knight, this is a completely winning attack for black. So this could have happened. Also back here, if instead of queen takes e7, if instead she plays rook h to e1, this is the better idea, because now after queen takes a2, rook takes e7, queen takes b2. Oh my god, it's very scary. Are you gonna get mated? She luckily has king to d2, and the king would escape and it would be fine. So this way going into it would have been okay, but we don't see queen takes d6. We see knight takes d6, and the reason this doesn't work is because of d takes e4. And now, look at this rook, y'all. It's coming into the game, and this king is still not castled and under a ton of pressure. So we get queen to b6, e5 attacking the knight, knight d to f5, bishop to d7 check, king to f8. King is like, please, somebody come defend me. I wish I would have castled a long time ago. I need help. g4 attacking the knight, knight to d4, knight takes, c takes, queen to f3, attacking the rook, attacking f7. Everybody's coming into the party. And now rook to a7 getting out of the way, rook h to f1, knight to f5, g takes f5. And this was a completely winning attack, and Garifulina resigned here. If you would have saw rook takes d7 trying to win the bishop, she would have played queen to a8 check, and after rook d8, black is going to lose material, and the attack is just completely winning for white. And that was the game between Vaishali and Garifulina. Oh my god, Vaishali just played, I think, the game of her life. Such a beautiful attacking game. This is the type of chess I love to see. Every move just pouncing on the opponent. It was so good to see. I'm so proud of her. What a nice jump back from last game yesterday, where she had an amazing defense, but she didn't play too well. You know, she had to defend really well at the end to be able to save the game. So she did play well at the end, but, you know, she didn't play that well to get to that point. So, you know, she had to put herself in that position. So beautiful game, beautiful comeback. She won in only 25 moves, and what a nice win for her. So going into tomorrow, we only have 2 players who are going 3 out of 3. Ooh, tomorrow's pairings are up. Ooh. Ooh, this is gonna be good. Who's Alina playing? Okay, okay. Ooh, tomorrow's gonna be good. Ooh, I'm excited. Tenjoni and Muzichuk. That's gonna be a fight. Vaishali versus Maria Muzichuk tomorrow. Ooh, this is gonna be great chess. Oh my god. Today, this is the results from the round today. Lots of decisive results. Barely any draws. Look at all of the winners. We had, you know, y'all, I was really excited for Elina Robers versus Alexandra Kosenyuk. And then they had a quick draw, and it was literally like a draw within like under 20 moves. It was very sad. I really was hoping for an exciting game, and then they had a quick draw. So good on Alina's part. But sadly for us, we didn't get to see a really cool game. Pause to see if you guys, any of your favorites won or lost. But yeah, this was the standings for, or the results for round 3. The standings are as follows. We have Tanjoni in first place, tied with Anna Muzichuk, followed by a ton of other players. We have a 3-way tie here, and then a ton of people going 2 out of 3. And then sadly, some of our faves who only have 1, and a few with half and 0. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. I will see y'all in tomorrow's recap. It'll be very exciting. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.